What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video with your boy Thick Whips. Today is another fantastic day here over at Thick headquarters because it is, well, it's new wheel day again. These are new wheels to me, but they are in fact used wheels and they're not perfect. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. I ended up getting these wheels from Straight 6 Auto Group. They have gotten me a ton of parts for cars that I've owned in the past, like my B58 engine, for example. My M4 GTS headlights, the Icon headlights, I got those from them. They are a really great source to have if you own a BMW and you are looking for any used parts. So as you guys know, I currently have the ARC 8s in black on my stock body 135. However, we are of course doing the 1M conversion. I was trying to figure out what wheels I wanted to run with the 1M conversion. Thought about doing BBS E88s, which have proven to be very difficult to find. In order to have a set of those built, it is going to be at least 6 months to have them built the way that I want them. There are also a few other wheels in my head that I thought about running. However, one day I had an idea that I hadn't really seen many people, or anyone for that matter, run on a 1M car. There is an OEM BMW wheel that I have wanted to own for a long time. These used to be probably one of the most underrated OEM BMW wheels in my opinion for the longest time. However, in the past couple of years, they've really started to pick up in terms of popularity. But when I thought about what I wanted to run on the 1M when the car's all complete and wide, I thought that these would be perfect. And I also just love the fact that they're OEM wheels. So I've finally secured a set of 513Ms. Let me tell you something, dude. These wheels, I love these wheels, and I've loved them for a very long time. I just didn't really have a car to put them on. Unfortunately, these will not clear the carbon ceramic brakes on the M4 GTS. But I did a little bit of research, and it turns out there are some people that are running these on the stock body 135s. However, it requires a lot of modification to run them because they are pretty aggressive compared to, you know, a 135 stock body offset and width. However, I don't know of anyone running these on a 1M car or a 1M converted car. So in my head, you know, with the black car, wide, with all of the 1M parts on it, with this finish, with these wheels, and being that they're OEM, I truly think that this is going to be a killer match with this car. Typically, I wouldn't show these to you guys until the car was done. The car was wide and we were ready to put them on. However, you guys are gonna see these around in the videos, especially while we're building the car and I'm mocking things up and making sure that everything fits and it's gonna sit right. You're gonna end up seeing these. So I figured I might as well just show you them now, get it out of the way, and then of course once we finish everything up we can put them on, and dude, it's gonna look, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna look so fire. So obviously these look pretty good from 5 feet away. However, they're not perfect. And I'm gonna be doing a little bit of DIY work on these wheels. I've already started. So today I did a very, very deep clean on these. They are super clean right now. Removed all of the adhesive, removed all the TPMS sensors, got them cleaned up, started doing a little bit of fine sanding where there was some curb rash on the wheels. So these aren't perfect, they are used, and they do have a little bit of curb rash on them. However, you know, I think that I can repair these myself. I want to take a crack at it. I'm going to see if I can find some paint that is as close to possible with this 513M gray, and I'm going to try and mask all of this off and blend in the paint for only the areas, obviously, where I curb rashed the wheels. And I've never done that before, so it's a little bit of a learning process. These edges were really, really chewed up, and I was able to sand them down and get them looking pretty nice. I mean, honestly, I could throw on the tire and you probably wouldn't even notice it, but I can't let that slide, not on my watch. So we're gonna try and make these as clean and as good as possible. However, man, they cleaned up really good. They look phenomenal. Even the center caps are in really good condition too. So that is that wheel. This wheel had a little bit of rash right here. You can see that I'm gonna have to do a little bit more cleaning on that little nib right there, but I can sand that out. Shouldn't be too bad. There's a little bit of rash along here, but again, I think that that'll clean up. But if I can find a paint that is pretty close to this, I'll be able to make these look good. Now this one is the most chewed up one, and you can see that I did a A lot of sanding in here. I still gotta even this out a little bit. Not the worst, not terrible. It is what it is. I mean, I got these used and I got them for a really good deal. Same deal with this one. That is the only mark on this one. Other than that, it is clean. So they're certainly not perfect. They're gonna need a little bit of work, but I think that it's gonna be a fun little challenge, and I'll see how well I can actually refurbish these. If I can make them look almost as good as brand new, I'm gonna do my best. If worse comes to worse and I just hit a wall and they just don't look good, then I'll just take them to my local shop and have them actually refinished in factory colors. Then they'll be perfect. However, before I do that, before I jump that gun, I wanna see if I can do it myself, because that's always gonna be more rewarding than just taking it somewhere and paying them to do it. So you guys tell me what you think. I think these are gonna look so freaking good on this car, especially once it's all wide. And I really like the idea of having, these are more of like a polished gunmetal, I guess you could say. Like, they definitely have a lot of sheen to them, but they're a little bit darker than a silver, and I freaking love the color, man. Like, the OEM 513M wheel and color just looks so good, and I think against the black, whew, I don't know, guys. I think it's gonna look really freaking good. So in terms of size on these, you guys, it's gonna be 18 by 9 on the front with an offset of 29, and then the rear is gonna be an 18 by 10 with an offset of 40. As far as tires, I haven't quite decided what I'm gonna do yet. More than likely, it's gonna be a Michelin setup. I really, really like the Michelin PS4Ss. Once I actually get things mocked up on the car and then I can put these on, I have a little bit better idea of what kind of tire I wanna run. The likelihood is that I'll probably have to run a spacer setup in order to put these out a little bit. I think if I just throw them on when I have the wide body kit, the 1M conversion on the car, they might not be as flush as I'll want them to be, but I don't think it's gonna have to be much. I think we'll be able to get away with like a very slight spacer setup, which I don't hate. And if that's what it takes in order for me to run, you know, an OEM wheel like this of my choice, I'm all right by it. I'll just make sure that I do a very nice spacer setup like Future Classic that actually bolts into the hub. Dude, just seeing the color against the black, I think, yeah. I think these are gonna be the ticket, man. I think that these are gonna be a very tasteful wheel once I actually get everything built up and the actual 1M conversion onto the car. I just think it's gonna suit the build very, very nicely. Even if I weren't to run these wheels on this car, I probably would have bought the wheel set anyways. I've just always wanted this set of wheels. Even if I don't use it on this build, I know for a fact that I'll use it on a future build. So the guys over at Straight Six Auto Group knew that I was looking for these wheels, and then once they got a set in, they hit me up and I was like, done. They're gonna look amazing on the 135, but they're also going to look amazing in general on most cars. And these wheels also fit F30s. You can do an F31 wagon build with these. They're a pretty eclectic wheel, but also the style of them is really cool. They sort of have the 763M look to them a little bit, kind of like the Apex VS5 RS style with the spokes like that, but they have a ton of concavity. Like, if you look at them like this, you can already see how concaved in they get, but they are aggressive, dude. I don't know, man. In my opinion, these are the coolest OEM BMW wheels. That's just my opinion. I've wanted these for so long. I was just trying to find the right set that would be like crazy overpriced. But yeah, I just love the simplicity of them. They're not overdone. But I think in general, just the style of them is so sick, man. For an OEM wheel, they just look so freaking good and aggressive. The funny thing is, these wheels were like base package wheels on the F8X cars. So the M3 and the M4, some of them had these wheels. I like these way better than the 437Ms. I like these way better than the 666Ms. So they are 18s, obviously, so not everybody likes smaller wheels like that, but I typically like a smaller wheel with a little bit more tire, depending on the car, depending on the size of the car. But typically with E and F chassis, I just prefer the 18-inch wheels. And really, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with OEM. You know it's gonna be a quality wheel, and plus it just fits the style of the build, in my opinion. All right, so there you guys go. The 513M wheels are going to be at least the initial wheels that I put on the 1M build, and I think that they're gonna suit it very, very well. We might mix it up and get another set of wheels, something different, just to have some alternatives to what we run. But for the most part, as well as everything goes to plan, I would love to stick with the 513s on this build. I just think they're gonna suit it so well. In other news, this is a little bit of an update video. We have almost everything for the full complete 1M build. I have all of the front end parts. I have the side skirts, I have the rear bumper, and then I have the majority of the stuff for the exhaust and battery portion of the build. I'm just waiting on the actual 1M muffler, and then I'm also waiting on my rear arches. But once the rear arches get in, we are full gas. We are going all in, and we are going to start this entire transformation, and it's going to be insane. If you guys don't know, the 1M actually has the exact same hood as the 135, so it is no different. I ended up going with something a little bit more aggressive. The beauty of taking a 135 and doing a 1M conversion is that it's not a real 1M. The VIN will never be a real 1M VIN. So that allows me to have a little bit more fun with it. Do some things to this car that you wouldn't want to do to a 1M. Now, while I think it's really cool to own a 1M, I think if I had paid for one, I probably wouldn't want to do a lot of crazy stuff to it because they are so rare. This sort of conversion opens up a lot more opportunity to just have more fun with the build in general. So this isn't gonna be like a total cookie cutter build. We're gonna do a lot of fun, really cool, unique, exciting stuff on it. Some things that I definitely have not done on previous builds, we are gonna be going further. I'm gonna be challenging myself harder on this build than I have ever done before. I'm at the point in my career or YouTube journey or build journey that I want to really challenge myself and take on some things that I've never done in the past. And at the end of all of this, not that any build is ever really finished, but at the end of all of this, I want this build, I want to be very proud of this build. I want to be able to look back and say, we didn't cut corners, we really went all in, I learned a lot, and I pushed myself out of my comfort zone doing things on this car that I've never done before. So that's kind of my mentality going into it, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I won't drag that on too much, but it's gonna be a lot of stuff that is going to happen in the future. And honestly, I'm just anxious. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm just anxious to get into it. I can't wait. If anyone has done this conversion before, you know that half of the battle is just getting the parts, just waiting on the parts to arrive from Germany. Some of the parts are readily available. I mean, when I ordered all of the 1M conversion parts, I had the majority of it like within a week, but some of the stuff is special order from Germany, so it takes time. It's really nothing I can do about that, but yeah, I'm really looking forward. I'm anxious to just get in it and start wrenching and cutting this car up and having fun. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think about the 513M wheels, dude. I think a lot of you guys are gonna like it, man. Like, you guys love OEM stuff, OEM plus type stuff, and especially when they're BMW. I think you guys are gonna dig it. I personally really dig it, which is most important. Like I said, we'll probably get like another set of wheels, something a little bit different to just have around, switch it up whenever we want to, but I think that these are gonna be, I have a feeling these are gonna be a hit. I really do. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one.